I was born in a small community in St. Elizabeth called Roses Valley. Grew up in Oxford, which is a neighboring community, northwest Manchester, from a huge family of 7 sisters and 4 brothers. Life was interesting, growing up in a small community with so many brothers and sisters. I love to decorate. I love events planning. I love to sing. I can't say I'm the greatest singer, but I do love to sing. I love organizing things, and so since a teenager at my current church, Mandeville New Testament Church, I've been a choir director. So I've had the youth group, different choirs. I'm currently the choir director for the Friends of God. But I love to coordinate things, so you see me doing pageants and anything to do with coordinating and events planning. My common entrance year especially, very good at math. And I remember my then principal was, and common entrance teacher was Mr. Brackett, Mr. Hewlett Brackett. And so when they weren't getting the math, he'd say, Miss Peart, come on the board. You know, and I'd feel so good to go and solve the problem, which I think led to me majoring in accounts later on. My high school years were somewhat, especially when I got to 3rd form, I think I fell back then. My mother got sick, and the middle child, I guess I got caught up in, you know, helping my father in the business and so on, and that was really hard, trying to balance school as a teenager and helping daddy in the business and going to the bank and doing all these things. But later on, I found myself where, you know, I knew what was in me, and I continued to pursue my dream. My father was, I think, maybe paranoid of us. I guess because there's so many girls. Just being outside when it's dark, he had this fear. And I remember one night we were outside making drops, and Daddy turned off the light, the back light, because he wanted us to come inside. And so everybody just grabbed up the drops and ran inside, and then one of my sisters spat something out and said, "Oh my God, I ate a worm!" And of course from there, you know, she got a name from that. You know, though there's so many of them, but for me that really was fun. You know, Daddy had a good time laughing at us because he told us, do not be outside when it is dark. So it was a consequence of disobeying him. I was with the National Housing Trust, and in St. Elizabeth, Santa Cruz to be exact. I was traveling between St. Elizabeth and Mandeville, which became challenging after a while because of the, you know, the distance. And so someone told me that there was an opening here at Bishop's for a business teacher, and I thought, why not? I was doing accounting then. So it's not like it was something that I planned, and I came here 1998 and said I'd spend 5 years in the classroom, but 20 years later, here I am. As head of the business department, I teach management of business, CAPE. I teach principles of business, economics, accounts, IT. Currently, I'm doing 3 though, but I fit in wherever the need is. So I'm currently doing economics, principles of business, and management of business. I teach the students, not the curriculum. Each student for me is that valuable. So whatever it takes, if it's my lunchtime, if it's after school, whatever it takes, I teach each student. And so I strongly believe in differentiation, knowing that students come with different strengths and weaknesses. So that is what I use to reach each student, teaching them the way they learn. And out of that, you'll find that it promotes enduring understanding and having a relationship with them. That's so important, that you know your students and they know that you care. And they will tell you that I'm very strict when it comes to discipline, because I strongly believe you can't separate discipline and performance. So my standard for them is excellence, and they know that. And they will come up to that bar, and they're willing to work with me, and out of that, we see the results.
So this is our production class. We are currently doing exotic flower pots, and we're doing the topic production in POB. And so we want the girls to have a practical side to the theory they've done. They are also going to be, later on, spraying them in different colors and selling them. And the aim is to take this money to a home to give to children who are less fortunate. So they're learning the process of input, the processing, the output of the production, but also they are doing it for a cause. We have been looking at production, we're talking about productivity and the whole idea of efficiency, where we want to ensure that we had no form of waste, because waste means money. And we don't want to lose our money. So in terms of the cement, did you have any leftover material? How did you ensure that this happened?
What we did was the container had too much water, so we used some of the buckets to conserve without going for others. We poured some of the water into that bucket, and then we started mixing. While we were mixing, we had our hands down and we were digging deep, dissolving the lumps, while we continued adding more cement onto the thing, so it's there and we work it out. We tried at first, and that we came out good, and while we were going down further, was that it needed more water and cement to make the others. So we continued and we mixed again and we poured and we mixed until we got everything done properly.
So that was a good way of ensuring that we didn't have any leftover concrete that we'd have to throw away. Because the whole idea is that when we're doing production, we want to maximize profit. So if we have cement left over, we can make more flower pots. However, if we had the mixture, it would mean what? It would be wasted. Very good, young ladies. Proud of you.
Looking at who, the era I'm in, we're teaching digital natives. And so that's their language, that's what they know, that is what they use every day. And so in using that, you realize that you reach them. You do the things that they can associate with and that they enjoy doing. And so you have no challenge getting them to create a video. As a matter of fact, they teach me a thing or two every day because this is their era. And so because they enjoy doing that, you use that to communicate with them, and it does make a difference. They have the knowledge at their fingertip, and as an educator, I think it's very important that we get to the point where we know we are no longer the sage on the stage. We're facilitators, and we use these different technological devices, whatever we have at our disposal, to reach these students. For me, the emphasis is not that of just the academics, but you're looking at producing young people who will make a positive contribution to our country and our world. And so you want them, of course, to do well. And I do believe in excellence on all levels. But I find it's very challenging sometimes to get even these young persons to believe in themselves, to understand the greatness that's in them, because they're often told otherwise. And so, to get them to that place where they understand that they have greatness in them and they just need to stand, in that all the time. That is something that I think I'm yet to master.
Mrs. Wilmot is a teacher. She's well-mannered, she's respectful, she's beautiful, and she's also a teacher that everybody around here loves.
The first time I met Mrs. Wilmot, she was the first teacher to take time out of her day to tell me that apart from the academics in my school life, I should have a balance with spiritually. I should try to be that person who others will try to want to be like. She's a role model. She has taught me that throughout life there will be many challenges, but it's up to me to overcome them, regardless of what I may face.
I'm going to start Church Teachers College September because I've been encouraged by the teachers, especially Mrs. Wilmot, because she's like a mother to me, and the way she goes about doing her work has motivated me to go into a teaching career.
She's really been an inspiration to all of her students, and that, like a mother, that she is in both the physical and in the figurative. I'd like her to continue to keep up that motherly attitude to all of her students.
Persons would be surprised if they know that I sometimes really worry about my two sons' education and their future. It's a totally different job being a parent and a teacher. Sometimes you have so much faith and you put so much in other people's children that I worry, am I doing enough for my sons? Will they be the best that they can be because I'm their mother? Yes, I do worry about them. A typical regret I have in terms of setback is my second son has ADHD. And I remember he would have done the diagnostic when he was in grade 1. And when he was to do it for the GSAT exam, I did not get it done in time. I tried everything. but it never happened in terms of getting. And so when he went into GSAT, he never had that for him to get the assistance. And that I still feel a pain there, like I failed him. We have, tried everything to get him to be the best that he can be, but that for me, when I look on, I use that though to help other students. I'll never see a child with a need like that and not do something to ensure that they get the help they need so they can be the best in whatever area they choose to go.
She put in place a lot of stuff to make learning fun. First, she deals with the situations that attack in our society first, and we respond.
The most important lesson I've learned from Mrs. Wilmot is to be myself in whatever I do.
Mrs. Wilmot is a well-rounded person, I would say, consummate professional, and she's a hard worker, an enthused person. She's assiduous and mobile, always in action. I think she gets along with her peers very well. She's a very frank person and she gives her instructions clearly. Mrs. Wilmot has influenced me in many ways. For example, her planning and organizational skills. I find that I have benefited from that a lot.
If I were a millionaire, I would buy, I'm not sure, because for Miss Wilmot, because since firstborn, she's always been like a mother to me. So thinking about my own mother, I'm not exactly sure what I would buy for her if I was a millionaire, because the things I would get her, money can't buy them.
I would not say it's a total surprise, no. Coming out of being TVET Teacher of the Year and the kind of rigor I would have gone through, it was a good feeling. It was, I would not say expected, but I did not see myself not winning, or you just have that place where you're uncertain. But I had a good feeling going in. The truth is, when I met all the finalists at the interview, I knew it could be anybody because these are excellent teachers. And so I was just elated to know that, I could have got this title, knowing that anyone there could have been named the LASCO Teacher of the Year. Because it's a great team of teachers, but it's a really good feeling. And I commend the effort behind this, because many times we know teachers work assiduously but are never recognized. And so it's a really, really good feeling to know that somebody sees your worth, somebody sees your work, and therefore come out and say, we applaud you. It's a great feeling. I want to be remembered as the teacher who gave all her students wings to fly. I want to be remembered as the teacher who believed in every child, so that when they look back over their lives, they will say, here is someone who helped me to believe that I can, and not just believe it, but to do the best that I can, and so maximize their potential.